What's up, everybody? Welcome to week 5. This is with Ethan Gremillion. Ethan is a mountain biker and just all-around adrenaline junkie, action sports guy. He's roommates with Paxton. Paxton kind of ended with that last week, and Ethan tells a really crazy story about him breaking his leg. And we just kind of get to know each other. Again, we hadn't met each other before this, so he watched me and Paxton, and then he stepped up, and this is what came out of it. So Ethan's a really cool guy. Again, another instant friend, so I don't think this will be the end of seeing him. So I'm working with an artist to get a logo. Should have that next week. Hopefully we'll have some intro music. Got that in the mix as well. So, just please hang with me, and it's only getting better, I promise. So, enjoy Ethan Gremillion. Ethan, welcome to the program.
Yeah, it's good to be on here.
If you don't mind, introduce yourself.
Yeah, so I'm Ethan Gremillion. I've lived with Paxton here for about the past 2.5 years. We kind of met through some mutual friends. We grew up in the same area, but really never met each other. And once we kind of clicked up, it was all from there, all downhill.
Cool. So you said you went to River Oaks.
Yeah, went to River Oaks my whole life. Grew up in Monroe.
So that's an interesting experience, I would imagine, like growing up in a smaller private school your whole life and then getting sent out into the world. I don't know. I'm just.
It's a first grade through 12th grade school, but the upper school were it was the high school and middle school all together, and then separate building for the elementary, but pretty tight knit group. I mean, you walk down the hall and you pass sixth graders, just go all the way through high school, and then straight from there I went out to LSU, and that was just big culture shock, you know.
I would imagine so. Yeah, so we know a lot of the same people, like Vincent Moore and Seth Lawrence and Daryl Barnes, and
oh yeah.
Were you around when Tashadi was there?
Oh yeah,
Tashadi Talton, yeah.
So I actually did the statistics for the football team. I played in middle school, and just wasn't really for me. I didn't really enjoy it, but the coaches props to them. They kind of kept me included in the group. They refused to let me leave.
That's cool.
They let me anything they could do to get me involved. So I got to do the statistics. So I got to leave and go to all the out of town games, do everything.
Get a ring?
Oh yeah, I got a state ring.
That's awesome.
Didn't play, but got one.
Yeah, that's awesome. And River Oaks y'all won a couple of state championships, right?
Yeah.
And but y'all are in like a Mississippi league or something?
Right, the MPSA.
Yeah.
Which everybody else is in the LHSA.
Right.
And we were in the MPSA, and they had a couple schools from Arkansas and a couple in Louisiana, but mostly Mississippi.
And was it just like small private schools, or was it a bunch of public schools as well?
It was private schools, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we probably had 30, 40 people on our team. We played some people that had about 60. They were like the 3As, and we played a couple of games with them, but mostly small schools, about the same size as us.
So, like, how many people did you graduate with?
I think like 31, 32.
Wow.
We had a couple not graduate with us just for various reasons. But
but you know everybody and their mama and their daddy and
it's
sister and brother.
Gossip travels quick in a small school, man.
Yeah, I imagine so. So you're a big mountain biker and action sports guy as well, from what I hear.
Yeah, big enthusiast in the action sports.
Awesome.
Just kind of got a mountain bike, like when I went to LSU, just to kind of go to class with. And then you find people on social media. It's been great, like Instagram. People put out content, and you can kind of see what the culture's about. But you see these guys doing these big trips on mountain bikes, doing all this cool stuff, and I'm like, well, I got a mountain bike, let me go try it. And,
So you picked this up in Baton Rouge, like you started hanging out with a bunch of people there doing it and going to different places?
Not necessarily there. Just kind of used it to get around campus there. But when I came back to Monroe, I went to LSU for a year, came back to ULM here, and kind of lived solo for a little bit. And that was kind of when I started riding trails, but kind of found a few guys that shared similar interests. And
so when you say you were riding trails, were you like down by the levee and like, or were you going off places?
Yeah, so like around here we've got a trail by the river, and it's pretty simple, real flat. But Ruston's actually got one of the best trails in the state.
Yeah.
For as good as mountain biking gets in Louisiana.
For sure.
But they've got
a lot of people don't realize just how hilly North Louisiana actually can be in
there's
certain
some spots
places.
that have potential, man, for sure.
Yeah. I actually just went to a different place. We were talking about motocross earlier, and I put out an edit earlier, I guess last week, but it was at a place I'd never been, and it was near Lake Darbone, But it's just this place. It's one little spot this guy owns, and it's just some extreme terrain change.
Right.
And he made just these crazy BMX style jumps, but for dirt bikes, and it's
Right on.
it's just pretty wild. Like it looks like it's from California, but it's in right there by Lake Darbone. So
Right.
so yeah, continue about I'm sorry about mountain bikes. When did all that really gain steam?
So yeah, just got a few of my friends involved with it, and it'd start like a few at a time. People would just get a bike. Hey, I want to come ride with you, and they get a bike and kind of point them in the right direction. And
so you're kind of an influencer for to other people.
Yeah, and eventually our whole little friend group kind of got involved with it, and we've all kind of got bikes now. The past couple of years, we can actually go ride some real trails. We like to go up to Arkansas a lot, and that's probably one of the most. It's one of the big meccas right now in the South is Northwest Arkansas. It's like mountain biking is growing as a sport. Like a lot of the guys that ride up in California and like the Northwest, they come down here in the off season to ride Northwest Arkansas because it's not snowed in like the rest of the country. That's
awesome. So I haven't ridden a mountain bike up there. Is it a lot of climbing? Is it a lot of tight and twisties? Is there a bunch of downhill spots, or is it all entwined?
Man, it's a little bit of everything. You can do whatever you want. They got the bike parks where you can go hit just big jump lines, man-made features, and they've got the natural trails that obviously have the uphills and the climbs and like the pretty scenery. But
so like these parks that you're talking about, is this like legit like getting on ski lift type deal?
No ski lifts, but they have a little like trail that leads up to the top of them, and they've got the runs down with the big man-made features and the big tabletops.
That's awesome. Where's that at?
Bentonville.
Okay, yeah, just right outside of Fayetteville.
Right.
Yeah. All right, that's awesome. I never knew that was there. I saw actually in somebody's Instagram there was like a big, huge pump track in Jonesboro, Arkansas, which is in.
Is that northeast?
Northeast, kind of.
Right,
yeah. I'd never seen it before, but it was huge. I mean, it was big snaking deal, a big pump track. So maybe something I have to check out at some point. That's the thing.
Like when you're up there, like downtown Bentonville is really cool. It's like where the Walmart was founded. So like Walmart kind of funds a lot of the trail building out there, and it's a really good community for growing the mountain bike sport. But like if you're downtown, you're like a 5-minute bike ride away from like a dozen different trailheads. And,
wow.
Yeah, and they're green, blue, black, double black, whatever, and just. Whatever your skill level is, there's a trail for you out there.
That's incredible. I didn't know that existed like that.
Kids, they're going to school, like they pass, like you're going down the street to school, and there's people ripping mountain bikes right next to the road, and
that's awesome.
They've got to just look at it and be like, Mom, that's what I want to do.
Yeah,
give me a mountain bike.
For sure. Yeah, that's inspiring to hear about. I didn't know that actually existed in Arkansas.
It's a growing thing up there. It's kind of like it's. Last like year or two on Instagram and social media, that's really helped out with it, but people are starting to kind of flock there for it.
That's awesome. So I also heard that you did some wake skating at some point in your life and may have had an accident. Can I get that story?
Yeah, so kind of a weird deal, man. It was just a freak accident, honestly. Like I've wakeboarded my whole life and done that. I've just done board sports.
Yeah, same here.
Done fine on the wakeboard, could like jump wakes and stuff. So my little brother goes to this estate sale and he gets a wake skate, which is like a wakeboard with no bindings. And like I don't know anything about this.
Did it have like grip tape or foam on?
It had foam.
Yeah,
but it was kind of small looking. And I was
for
like,
sure.
And we were doing like on a short rope, which I'm not sure if that's even what you're supposed to do. And I was like, let me try this thing. So I'm trying to get up on it, and I go about 3 tries.
So you're behind a boat?
Behind a boat.
Where at?
Lake Bruin.
Okay.
And I'm trying to get up on it, and fall 3 times. I can feel like I'm almost there, and then 4th time I'm like, all right, I'm giving this a heave. Like we're getting up there. I tell him to hit the boat a little harder.
Yeah.
So he goes, and I give it a big tug, and then I felt like a pop, and I was like, man, I think I just blew my knee out or something. And I reached down, and my thigh is twice the normal size, like instantly. It's crazy.
So like you didn't even get out of the water?
No. So I kind of screamed naturally a few times.
Yeah.
I flagged him down. I was like, I need to get out of the water right now. I didn't really know what happened until they went to pull me out. When they went to pull me out of the water, I felt it's a distinct feeling when your leg is just in half. And I was like, it's my femur. Like it's not together. And everybody's like, what? You know, it's my dad, my little brother, my friend Jordan and Trace are in the boat. And Paxton and our other friend just left. And there's like some girls at the dock. So they pull me out of the water, and I'm sitting on the back, like kind of honestly the calmest one. Like once everybody kind of saw my leg just double the size of a normal leg, they just, dude, I'll never forget the looks on their face. It was crazy. And I'm just like, all right, we know this orthopedic surgeon in Monroe. Like, I'm going to go ahead and call my mom, get her to call him, tell him we're going to St. Francis, like right now.
Yeah.
We get to the dock, man, and like the worst part was getting carried from the boat. And they backed the truck down to the dock. And like the neighbors came over, and there's like freaking 6 or 8 people carrying me. And I'll never forget it, man. It was horrible. I had just a towel over my face. And we've got freaking 10 girls over there. And I'm just trying to kind of act hard in front of them.
How old were you when this happened?
It was about a year and a half ago. I was 21.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Dude, that's bonkers. So like, where did it break?
Mid shaft femur. It was displaced.
God.
It came like within 1.5 centimeters of nicking the femoral artery.
Dang.
Yeah. After surgery, the surgeon came. It was actually a friend of my mom's, like a family friend. He's kind of an orthopedic surgeon. And,
Yeah.
I was like, that's who I want to go to. So we ended up deciding to come to St. Francis.
Yeah.
Which is like an hour and a half from Lake Bruin.
For
so
sure.
I'm riding the back of an F-250 down I-20 with a broken femur, just like biting a towel the whole time. Just like, let's just get there. So I called my mom, like, all right, come meet us up there. Like, I have a broken leg. I didn't tell her like how bad it was broken.
Yeah.
So she pulls up, and they're trying to get me out of the truck, and I'm screaming, and she just freaking loses it.
Can imagine. I've done that. Like, I've gotten up on a wake skate multiple times. So, like, I know, like, the process of it. So, like...
It's just like a wakeboard, man.
Yeah, but, like, you didn't drink your milk or what? It's just some... I mean, I guess it is like
I needed some milk.
Yeah, you need some milk. I'm sorry. This is just, like, blowing my mind right now.
Dude, like, it's such a freak accident.
Yeah, it
Especially 'cause
doesn't
I've
make
done it
any
before,
sense.
You know, and I just remember, like, I just gave it just a tug, just really trying to get up hard. I went to pivot, and it might have been the board was too small. The boat speed may have been, who knows, perfect storm.
That's bonkers.
Maybe I just needed the milk, you know.
Yeah.
Who knows?
So, I mean, you had to have surgery on it and all that stuff?
Yeah, so they hammered a rod from my hip down to my knee, through it, and put it back together.
Yeah.
I think it was about an hour surgery.
That's crazy. So would you say you've fully recovered?
Yeah, so they say it's about 6 months to a year, and I'd say probably about 6-7 months. I was back mountain biking. So I broke it in May of 2017,
Okay.
and that December was the first trip we went to Bentonville. We went to Bentonville, Arkansas, Northwest, and then I was back riding trails, by that December.
That's awesome. You ever feel that rod?
Dude, I try to go running sometimes, and I can tell I can tell something's up in my knee.
Yeah.
That's just part of it. They say I might have had like some tendon ligament damage in the knee.
Yeah. But
and it might just kind of be always weird, but mountain biking doesn't really hurt it.
That's cool.
Although I did fall that trip. I had I overshot a jump, and I landed on my hip real hard.
Yeah.
I freaked in. It was like my leg. I just broke this leg. Hopefully it's okay.
Yeah. I know that thought process.
It was scary because
sure.
you had just been through like such a traumatic event. And you're like, please God, don't let this come back.
For sure. One of my roommates, his name's Andy. Andy, I hope Andy doesn't mind me sharing his story. But Andy broke his back racing dirt bikes whenever he was younger, and he just recently bought another dirt bike. And like, it's because I get it. Like you have that want to do it, but at the same time, like he's been like super cautious, super chill about it all. I mean, you can tell he wants to be on the bike, and I get that. I mean, you want to go and do what you always want to go and do, but I don't know. I guess
that's the thing, man. With these like extreme action sports kind of stuff. I mean, it's just injuries, kind of like the cost of admission. It's just bound to happen at some point in time.
Yeah, that's something that I think about on a regular basis. Like whenever I start to hurt or something, I'm sore or whatever, and it's like, there's this dude named Colby Raha who just like launched off a cliff on a dirt bike and crashed like so hard and broke like his collarbone, but like all the way across. And he was just filming for a Moto X, like X Games Real Moto, which is just like wild freestyle moto stuff.
Yeah.
And he like gets up and he like walks over to the camera. He's like, all right, so I just broke my collarbone. We're gonna go to the hospital, and we're gonna get some pins in it, and
no big deal.
We'll be back here in 3 months. It's just like flash forward 3 months, and he's just like whipping it again. It's just
and that's like the saying, like for mountain biking and moto, is like the collarbone. It's just like I feel like everybody that rides motocross or rides mountain bikes, they've all broken a collarbone at some point.
Yeah, I went to LPP one time by myself on that 3700 that we were talking about earlier, and I separated my shoulder on one of the downhills. I was totally by myself, and like that was a real like nut up moment. Like I had to like get off the trail, and like get back to my truck and stuff. And I like. One of my friends had broken his collarbone like a couple months before that. I was like, that's what I did. Just broke my collarbone, but it wasn't broken. So,
hey, they can put you back together.
Yeah, and
modern medicine's it's crazy right now.
Yeah, that's what I keep telling myself, especially like going snowboarding here soon again. Like I got a helmet and stuff, but like my confidence level is building, and I know that like I'm gonna start really sending it. But yeah, modern medicine is a wonderful thing.
Snowboarding might be the only thing funner than riding like mountain bikes.
It's just that whole like you don't have to necessarily self-propel yourself.
Right, gravity. Let gravity do it.
Yeah, I'm similarly you like grew up skiing and wakeboarding and stuff like that, and became really super obsessed with wake skating for a while, and I wanted to build a winch. Like a high-speed winch, and still do. Like it is like on my wish list right now. But
man, let me know if you get that built.
Yeah, and one of my friends had built one, Bo Benson. Shouts out to Bo. He had one, and we used it a couple times on the bayou here in Monroe.
Right on.
And it was super cool, but he ended up selling it. He went to LSU as well and sold it to some guy on the LSU wakeboarding team down there.
They've got some cool wake parks in Baton Rouge.
Yeah,
I've heard.
I've never been to one, but I went to BSR, which is in Texas, in Waco, Texas.
Right.
And they have a wave there, a surfing wave.
Oh, like a man-made surfing wave.
Yeah. Have you heard about those?
Yeah.
So they have one in Waco, and I actually went to a competition. It was the Stab Surf High contest. It was so they can pump out a couple different waves there in Waco, and they can put out one that like at the end of it just makes this huge ramp. So that was the whole competition, was just like aerial maneuvers.
Right.
And it was super cool. It was unlike anything I'd ever seen before to see people pumping out waves like that. So
I've never gotten to go surfing, man, but it's on the bucket list.
Yeah, I haven't either, but I'm like I keep up with the World Surf League every once in a while and see what that's about, and it's always inspiring to see just how much far those guys can take that stuff. Like being totally unattached to the board and like waiting on nature to bring you something is
it's a little different with surfers, man. It's like it's kind of like a lifestyle for them. It's
not
most
just like
definitely. It's not just like a hobby. It's like they live like the surfing lifestyle.
And make fun of everyone who
who
uses it as a hobby.
It's not as inviting as a group as like other sports. Like you come out there and try to surf, you don't really know what you're doing. You kind of get some shade from the locals, I feel like.
It's something that I picked up on a little bit more this time going snowboarding, because I was super confident and I was just like ripping around and blowing past people. And it's like in snowboarding, they're either going to run you over or they're just going to blow right past you and you're not going to see them again.
Right.
But like if you're in surfing and you're like stuck out there in the water with them,
you're sitting out there floating with them. They're going,
That's a totally different deal.
They're like, get out of my way.
Yeah. So have you done any like mountain bike competitions or anything like that, or just strictly recreational?
Just pretty much recreational. I had the privilege yesterday getting around with Andrew Taylor, who's like a factory rider for Norco. He's
cool.
been traveling around the lower 48 states for the past year or so, just getting footage in every state. And he put out like on Instagram that he needed people to ride with in Louisiana. And one of my buddies, Jordan Miller in Shreveport, he messaged him, and we were the only people that hit him up from Louisiana. So we ended up, Jordan took him around Shreveport on Tuesday, and then yesterday I took him to Ruston. And dude's got just a sick little RV, little Mercedes RV, just getting paid for it. He got like a 450 Husqvarna, a dirt bike on the front. He got 4 mountain bikes across the back.
Dude, that's the dream.
He's living the dream.
That's
my
incredible.
Dream.
Yeah, mine too. That's awesome. I actually live like 2 miles from LPP. Like
right
I
on.
live right down the street from it, so if you ever get stuck down there, holler at me.
Man, it's the number one trail in the state. Like if you Google it, that's the first thing that comes up. But there's just no features really. And if we could just get a good group of guys, takes the right little group and permission with some equipment, you can build some jumps out there. They have the canvas for it.
Most definitely, yeah. It's a hard place to go and do the whole 10 miles or whatever.
It's a rough
it is.
10 miles because I mean it's a lot of work with minimal reward, But if you could just build one little line that's just all downhill with some actual jumps, I mean people would come.
For sure, yeah. I think I totally agree with that. If you could find a long, smooth line, like that would be the ticket. Like just like you say, just climb back up it and ride it back down again. Like I know I would do that. Like that's what we're looking for in snowboarding and Arkansas and everything else is just
right.
Just some elevation, please.
There's few of that in Louisiana.
Yeah,
there's
for sure.
not a whole lot.
And all of it's covered up by pine trees and hunters right now. So, well, cool, man. You have anything else you want to share or anything you want to ask me?
Yes, man. Like, what kind of got you into the podcast scene?
So the podcast deal, like, it was just kind of a culmination of things, like with all the starting a film and all that stuff. But I listened to a lot of Joe Rogan and some Theo Vaughn. I don't know if you're familiar with Theo Vaughn.
Oh, yeah.
So Theo's
a funny dude.
Yeah, he's wild and crazy, and I've never seen someone be so confident in whatever they're saying, regardless if it's like the most logical thing or the most ridiculous thing ever. Like
Right.
Theo can just deliver it and like not blink an eye. But really, there's this guy named Kyle Thierman, and he's the one who made me realize that like I could do this. Kyle's a simple dude from Santa Cruz, California. He's a surfer, and he's been a documentary filmmaker.
What a rad town.
Yeah, and it's weird because it sounds, from what I've gathered, like he kind of ran away from Santa Cruz after he like became 18 or 21 or something, and like went around and did some stuff. But then he like realized how actually cool it was and how many connections he had with people in Surfer Mag and like just all over the surfing aspect. And he's also a big believer in the benefit of psychedelics for mental health, which he has some pretty interesting theories and really interesting people on that study that kind of stuff. And I won't necessarily give my opinion on it, but it's he's got some interesting information that I think a lot of people should listen to. Not just LSD and psilocybin, but like ayahuasca and wild stuff like that. He gets people to share stories, and he did that himself. And I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily going to give my opinion on all that either, but I do hear that the psilocybin and the LSD can kind of cure like PTSD and other little.
Yeah, seen plenty of memes on the internet about that kind of stuff, curing depression and stuff like that. And I don't know that that's the answer for everybody and everything, but
for some people, it might be the right answer.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going around, and I get my information from Kyle, so who knows if it's how actual real it is, but about microdosing psilocybin and how it cures depression and gets people up off the couch and moving around and doing stuff. And
I think there's a big difference in like a clinical microdose and then just like a recreational dose and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, probably so. And then I kind of wish that kind of stuff could be experimented on a little bit more.
It should definitely be looked into.
Yeah, but that is the wild world that we live in at the moment. Our government doesn't even work. I'm not even going to get into that.
Right.
I listen to NPR a lot. And that's where I get my news from, and that's all they've been hammering into my head the past couple of days. And
the news.
It's really getting old. I really wish.
It's so hard to find the good news.
Yeah, and like
you kind of just have to listen to like all of it and kind of just hear everybody's just ridiculous point of view to kind of
take your own
logical opinion from it.
For sure. But I don't really consume politics any other way other than NPR? I don't know if you can hear, but there's a train in the background. Did have that question for you guys.
Yeah, there's a train track about 40 yards.
Yeah, how often does that happen? That was something that I thought about on the way over
Today's been
here.
a crazy day. This is probably the 4th train that's come by today.
But like,
and usually it's like 1 or 2 a week, but today it's been like 4.
and it cuts across like Forsyth and everything.
Yep.
And
yeah.
that's crazy. It's like,
There's 2 houses between us and the train tracks.
does that ever bother you?
Usually they don't come late at night. Usually it's like right about 8 in the morning. And like you might be trying to sleep in. And like, no, fuck that train coming by.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah. Anyway,
So you're a deadhead.
I am a bit of a deadhead.
Bootleg.
Yeah. There's this whole Instagram deadhead culture that makes all these wild T-shirts, and that's where this came from. Connor Bradley is the guy who made this one.
I'll have to look into that.
Yeah, Connor Bradley's a super cool dude. He's just like our age, and he's from Philadelphia, and he's a crazy graphic designer and loves the dead. So.
Eagles fan probably though.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Who dat
For sure. Did you see? I don't know if you saw. There's a video going around on Twitter today about how they were explaining their the Saints fake field goal, fake punt. And how they
like their tactics?
Yeah, like they had watched the film on this.
This is on what now?
It was on Twitter or something today.
Twitter.
Yeah, it's overrated. But yeah, I got in. You into jam bands?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so I went and saw Widespread Panic. That was the first jam band that I ever went and saw.
That is the jam band.
Yeah, so my buddy Nick Wilday, who we've talked about before. I don't even know how we got to go to this, but one day he was just like, hey, do you want to go see Widespread Panic? And I was like, look, I've heard of these dudes from like Old Row and stuff like that, but they don't really mean anything to me. He's like, look, just come. You'll get to see all the Wooks, and it'll be an experience. And I was like, you know what? I should probably start living for more experiences. I'll go check it out, and we'll 100%. See what it's about. And so we went up to, what is it, Rogersville, right outside of Fayetteville.
Rogers?
Yeah, Rogers, yeah.
That's a nice town.
Yeah.
That's where the money's at.
So the Walmart amphitheater is there.
Yeah, yeah.
And we went and saw Widespread Panic there.
Oh, that's such a sick venue. It's like right on the interstate.
Yeah, in like 2015, 2014. And I got really hooked. Like hook, line, and sinker, swallowed the bait. And ever since then, huge Panic guy. And I've seen him. We went and saw him for New Year's Eve one year in Nashville. And I saw him at Red Rocks whenever I lived up in Denver.
Oh, man.
That was awesome. That story we'll tell off camera. And but yeah, the Dead are obviously the pioneers of all that stuff. And what I find so fascinating about them is like they just kept evolving, and like you can just like listen to the 70s or the 80s or the 90s, and it's like a totally different band every 10 years or so.
And then bringing in John Mayer for the
so now Dead and Company, and it is totally a cash grab. It's really how much money can we make before we die kind of deal. But at the same time, shouts out to Bob Weir and the rest of the gang. It's still involved. I don't know why Phil isn't involved, but that's his own deal. But yeah, John Mayer is. I love John Mayer singing the songs "The Grateful Dead," and that's a beautiful thing to me. And R.I.P. to Jerry, but he's a good replacement.
R.I.P. Pour one out.
Yeah, for sure.
Man, have you heard of Cream?
Cream?
Yeah.
Like the old band?
Oh, yeah. The jam band Cream.
Okay, yeah.
So my buddy Sutton put me on them recently, and they've kind of been like my new obsession with the jam bands.
Like White Room?
Or Stormy Monday.
Yeah, Stormy Monday, for sure.
Fire.
Yeah, so Stormy Monday, so that got me into this whole blues era, where like Stormy Monday is not Cream's song. Like Stormy Monday is like...
It's a something.
It's a blues song, but sung by some old black guy, and he was the one who created it, and probably sings it at half the pace. But like, recently just like totally dove off into this stuff, like all this old New Orleans jazz and blues stuff. It's been a really wild.
Man, sometimes that
journey.
can be the best kind of music, is like a song that a band takes from like another artist and kind of makes it their own little twist on it. Like,
Most definitely.
I love that kind of stuff.
I don't know if you're familiar with the band Starfucker, but
No, it
they
sounds
sing,
pretty niche.
They sing "Girls Just Want to Have Fun."
Oh,
and
okay.
it's a wonderful version of it. Kind of off subject, but it's a cover band. It's a cover song.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah. So, have you had any live music experiences you want to share, or any jam bands you've gone and seen, anything like that?
Man, I've gotten lucky and seen the Chili Peppers and A$AP Rocky, like both of them twice. And in April, I'm actually going to see Tyler Childers and Ryan Bingham.
Dude,
back-to-back nights in New Orleans. I don't know if you know about those
yeah,
guys. I mean, it's like some folky country.
I've seen both of them on separate occasions.
Oh, man.
I went and saw Tyler Childers like 6 months ago in Jackson by my dang self.
Oh, man.
Like, I had an extra ticket. I wish we were friends at that point in life.
Dude, come to New Orleans in April.
Is it during the week?
Yeah, it's a Tuesday and Wednesday night.
Yeah, I can't do that.
I'm going to try to make it happen. I bought tickets, so I'm going to, hopefully works out.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, yeah, because Tyler's in, like, Baton Rouge.
Well, Tyler's in Baton Rouge the same night Ryan Bingham's playing it in New Orleans.
Okay.
But then the next night he comes to New Orleans.
Okay.
So they're going to be at the same venue in New Orleans Tuesday and Wednesday
What
night.
venue?
I think it's the Tipitinas.
Okay. I've never been there. Heard a lot of good things. I know it's a classic place.
I feel like I haven't been there, but at the same time I feel like I have. Probably a little too drunk.
Yeah.
But
Fair enough. So, you spent some time at LSU.
yeah, I did a year there right out of high school. Just kind of wasn't for me.
Yeah.
Kind of too much is going on, coming out of a small environment, and came back here, did a little school, taking some time off.
So, I mean, were you, so you're not in school anymore?
No, I've got about 30 hours left. I've been taking some time off. I'm actually about to become a firefighter for Washita Parish, and then try to finish up online.
Yeah, I know.
The thing is, my degree is like, it's a history degree, so like, what am I going to do with that,
Other than become a teacher.
Right, and that's not
what
what
was
I
your
wanna
motivation behind that?
do. Behind the firefighter,
Behind the history degree.
I mean, I bounced around a lot. I wanted to be a vet for the longest time. That just didn't really work out. And then I tried political science, and like politics kind of intrigues me, but honestly, the whole Trump thing kind of turned me off of it.
Yeah.
And, history was kind of the next degree where all those credits kind of transferred over to. And at this point, I've got too much time invested in it where I just have to finish with something.
Yeah.
Like my parents are like, just get the degree and just, let's just finish this out. So
Yeah, for sure. Podcast previously, this girl Amelia, she got her degree in family and consumer sciences, and now she's like,
that sounds pretty niche.
she works in a greenhouse. Like, she doesn't do any of that stuff.
What's she doing in the greenhouse?
She growing plants. She works at Louisiana Tech University in the greenhouse.
Right on.
So, but
Apparently they have like a dairy farm over there where you can go and like buy, dairy and like meat and stuff. Like from Tech's campus.
They used to. I don't think they have the dairy
It's
part
just the meats
anymore. Yeah. Are you turning that camera on? I don't think it's on anymore.
Yeah.
Hit it one more time. Cool. Yeah, we're good. Sorry.
All right, we're back with the great and powerful Dan Mabry.
Appreciate that.
Little Joe Rogan shout out.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I got a degree in marketing, and I haven't. I mean, I did a little bit with it, but not a whole lot. Definitely not using it anymore. So
That's the thing. Like from what I hear from like people that have given me their life experiences, that like most people don't really use what their degree's about. It's just about getting the degree to kind of move on to what you really are interested in.
I think if you're like super business minded, you can go into the College of Business and get something out of it and move on. And if you want to go be a realtor or you want to be an accountant or something like that's good on you, whatever. But for me, like, I should have like gone and done it like architecture or graphic design or something where I was like physically involved in it, and like what I put out. You do math and science and all that kind of stuff, and whatever you do put out, that's your product. But at the same time, like, you can't really get creative with it. And I think that's
you gotta love what you're interested in, like what you're going into.
For sure.
You're not gonna be successful unless you're passionate about it.
Yeah, that's definitely something that I'm learning right now. And you know this guy named Gary Vanderchuck,
Nuh-uh.
Gary V. He's like the super motivational speaker type guy, and he was just talking about how like if life isn't about being successful. It's not about how many followers you have or how much money you're making. It's about happiness, and it's like,
I mean, that's the truth.
yeah, and he also talks about like not caring about what anybody thinks, even if it's your mom or your dad or whatever, and that's something that I struggle with for sure.
And that's the hardest thing to learn.
Yeah.
Like, you can act like, oh, I don't care what anybody thinks, but I mean, like, do you really? I mean,
Yeah.
that's pretty tough to kind of get over in life.
For sure. So what do you do now?
So I've actually got the job that's been handed down from all the friend group working for BMO.
Yeah.
We delivered the supplies into prisons. It just kind of fell in. I was working at the paddleboard shop, like Paxton was talking about earlier.
Was that H2Go?
H2Go, yeah.
Yeah. So I just found out about that place not too long ago.
Guy trying to start up like a paddleboard shop around Monroe, and I was one of the first people involved with it, which is pretty cool. But he's got some other guys in there right now. It's taken off pretty well.
Yeah, I see one of those guys on social media, Killian.
Yeah.
Yeah, he seems like a cool guy.
Pretty cool dude, yeah.
Yeah.
Good guy to kind of fill the shoes, and he's taking it higher than I took it, so good for Mark and Killian.
Yeah, that's
it's
cool.
It's just good to see stuff like that growing in Monroe.
Yeah,
it's a big thing like in Austin, but you never think around here with the Washita River, but people see them, people see it happen on social media and see it happening out on the river, and they want to get involved.
Yeah, and that's something that we're talking about, like the surfing community, like that's kind of looked down upon to some degree, like the whole SUP community. But at the same time, like here, like that's like the pinnacle.
Yeah, right.
Like that's what we can do. So like we got to rock that. Like, so yeah, that is something that I should probably look into a little bit more and get involved in a little bit more.
It's cool. I've been fortunate to kind of be involved with it. So like if I want to go use them, I can just kind of I can borrow them for the weekend or whatever and go on my trips and put out some content for him to kind of use in his business.
Yeah. Have you got to go on some trips with that kind of stuff?
I haven't really been on any trips with them, but I've taken them like up to Arkansas and we go biking and we'll use them out like in the lakes and stuff over there.
Yeah, that's cool. That's awesome. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, that's something that I need to put myself into a little bit more.
It's fun. It's a good break from just kind of any other activity you're doing, especially when it's hot and you're just out like on some water. And the girls, they love paddle boards too, so that's thing.
It's simple enough. Everybody can grasp a hold of it.
We pile freaking 8 people in those things.
Yeah, they make them pretty like huge.
Oh, they're big. They're like 10 to 12 foot.
Yeah, that's awesome. So how did you get involved in that kind of stuff?
Kind of just through Paxton. The job that we have where we deliver to prisons, they share a warehouse space with this guy who does like an embroidery factory. And this was kind of his little side project, his little like kind of, he calls it like his fun job, little side job. But it kind of has turned into a good little business for him. Yeah,
it's definitely gaining some steam on social media.
We went through some phases where like we weren't really, we weren't making a whole lot of money, but more just trying to put out there and get people to notice it around here. And it's taken off pretty well. So
when was that? When were you a part of that kind of stuff?
That was 2016.
Okay. Yeah, because like I didn't find out about this place till like
past 2.5 years.
I didn't find out about it like 2 months ago.
It's cool to drive down the road and you see people with like the HTGO sticker on their car. Like you'll see somebody with the paddleboard on top, and it's cool to know you're kind of a part of starting something like that.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely pride in that. And it's like the whole local brewery scene too. Like there's something to be kind of prideful about that.
I try to support the old Flying Tiger.
Yeah, I've been there multiple times. It's a good place.
It's good people.
Yeah, I don't know if you've been to Utility in Ruston. It's a cool environment. It's a lot smaller. Yeah.
No, I've never been there.
It's a brewery and a pizza place. It's right downtown, right next to the Dixie Theater. That. So yeah, they've been open a little over a year probably, and I'll say the beer has gotten tremendously better.
They got a good double IPA?
No, they don't have a good double IPA. They do have an IPA, and it's tasty, but
I'm all about the haze.
Yeah, for sure. All about that headache in the morning too.
That's the price of admission.
Most definitely, yeah. Cool. I don't know. You got anything else?
Man, I guess that's about it.
All right,
It was,
cool.
it was cool being a part of this.
Yeah, well-
when I rode with Andrew yesterday, like I said, we were part of, like, he was filming a segment. As far as I know, it's about the only segment kind of showcasing Louisiana mountain biking, and just kind of shoved a camera in my face and just tell me about yourself, tell me about riding here, and just kind of, I don't know. And then doing this the next day, just cool to be a part of this.
Yeah, for sure. Well, maybe we can build that up a little bit more, and
For sure.
we can link up and put out some content. I would love to be a part of that, and
Right on.
yeah, I think that would be a cool little project we can easily work on. So,
You got the setup for it.
Yeah, for sure. This won't be the end, for sure. So it was nice to meet you, and I really appreciate you coming on
Yeah,
and
man,
talking
nice to
to
meet
me.
you as well.
All right, good deal. Peace.